What's up, guys? Raymaster Flex here. I am back here with another video, and uh, man, I couldn't help but do a video regarding the WWE. I told you guys that as wrestling season ended, and I made it. My last video was talking about how I'm going to move forward, and you're really not going to see much LHS wrestling. So now my focus is more so going to be on WWE and hangout videos and stuff of that nature. Just okay, so last night I watched Monday Night Raw. I would have done this video last night, but I stayed up real late last night. But I watched Monday Night Raw last night, and I really wanted to do this video last night, but I didn't do it. But I couldn't, and now I'm doing it, and hopefully, you guys are still tuned in. So there was one particular excitement that happened on Raw, and I'm pretty sure, I think you guys all know what I'm talking about here, for people that watch or whatever. I think you guys pretty much know what I'm talking about here. John Cena called out The Undertaker for a match at Wrestlemania. Now, this has been something that has been rumored for years, and this has been something that ever since this year came, people have been basically teasing John Cena versus The Undertaker, John Cena versus Undertaker, because it was like no other match that they can seem to get for John Cena this year. I don't know why, particularly this year, they want to do John Cena versus The Undertaker, but it just blows my mind because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to do that at this point. And let me just say this. When John Cena came out, I knew that something was up. When he came out last night and started off saying that he had no road to WrestleMania, and he was saying how he was gonna, stay. He was gonna buy a ticket with the crowd and sit with the fans at WrestleMania. He was like, he's not gonna retire, he's not gonna quit or anything like that. When he was saying those lines, when he came to Monday Night Raw last night, I pretty much knew that something was up, because it's like Cena just wouldn't come there and say something like that. It's like, it's obvious something's up. It's obvious that this is gonna lead to something. So as I was listening to him ramble and had the fans chant, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," which is basically the thing that they always chant. And when I heard him, say the same thing about when I heard him have the fans chant for Roman and they booed him, I could tell that this was going to lead up to him eventually calling The Undertaker out, because he did that before. He did that before he even said he was going to go to SmackDown Live. He did that the same week that Monday on Raw before Fastlane, because he ended up getting himself into Fastlane after he beat AJ Styles to qualify to be at Fastlane. He said that before. He challenged The Undertaker before. He was like, I've been told that match is impossible. And then he left the ring. People started booing. So then he did it again last night. I wanted to make a video about this because I want to tell how I personally feel, people. I know a lot of people have been wanting this to happen for over a long time now. I know a lot of people are behind this. But me personally, I might be the first to say I am not behind this at all. I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to just be as bluntly honest as I can be. If The Undertaker really is coming back to face John Cena, I would have just lost so much respect for The Undertaker. And I just mean that with a lot of passion. Like, yes, there have been a lot of wrestlers who have retired, and yeah, they never really said that Taker retired. Taker didn't actually retire, but the way that he left the ring last year, it made us all believe that that was it for him. And it would have been the perfect time for him to be done, because the way that the match was booked, it was basically booked where Taker was at his last route, where Taker was at his last step, where Taker pretty much had nothing left, and he was about to get hip surgery. So the way that they booked that match, Roman Reigns last year, they booked it to basically have it where the scene was for Taker to just basically be done. And, it led us to believe that he was like completely done. And even I'd seen outside of wrestling, like on interviews or something, he was like, he was done with the Taker character. All of a sudden, Now they're talking about John Cena versus the Undertaker, and that to me, I did not like from the moment I kept hearing about it because I'm like, what was the purpose of Taker doing all that last year? Because he did a lot last year. When he lost to Roman, he took his hat off, he took his gloves off. He really signified, had his thinking signifying that he was done. We've seen a lot of guys who's retired and came back from retirement. You know, guys like Rick Flair. I know, you know, some people gonna some of you guys are gonna say, oh, well, you know, there's been a bunch of other wrestlers who retired and they came back from retirement and they had one more match or something like that. You got guys like Ric Flair, but keep in mind, Ric Flair came back, but he didn't come back in WWE. He came back. He wrestled in TNA, and that's two different companies. He did come back and wrestle after he retired at WrestleMania 24 when he lost to Shawn Michaels, but he wrestled in TNA, and he did have a brief feud going on with Chris Jericho around 2009 when him and Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Roddy Piper all went against Chris Jericho in a triple threat or something like that. But really, no, I take that back. It was Ricky Steamboat. He wasn't in the triple threat. He was actually just watching, and he tried to fight Chris Jericho afterwards. And then he ended up, you know, Chris Jericho ended up hitting him with the code breaker. But that's like the only time you can really say he did something outside of retirement. But besides that, most stuff he was doing in TNA. But what about the people that stayed retired? What about Stone Cold Steve Austin? There's been people for years now who's been asking Stone Cold for one more match. And just because they asked it doesn't mean he was going to do it. Stone Cold has literally said in many occasions, I got no business stepping back in that ring. Like, he's got no business being in that ring. He said that himself in plenty of occasions when they've asked him, are you going to ever wrestle one more match? When he had his last match against The Rock at WrestleMania 19, that was his last match. He has not had a single match since. He stuttered a bunch of people since that time, but as far as an actual match, he has not been in an actual match literally since 2003 when he lost against The Rock at WrestleMania 19. So it's been if Stone Cold could go that long not ever wrestling again, as much people that have asked him was he going to wrestle again, then why can't Taker? Me personally, with Cena calling Taker out, this is really starting to lead me. It's starting to have me believe that Taker's going to accept, and eventually Taker's going to show up, and this is going to lead to Taker versus Cena at WrestleMania. But the question is, why? Why is it going to lead to Taker versus Cena at WrestleMania? That's really the question. Like, why? Why is it going to lead to Taker versus John Cena at WrestleMania? Like why? Especially at this point in their careers, why is it going to lead to that? Honestly, and this is not really to hop off the bandwagon of what other people say, because this is how I personally feel myself. If they really wanted to see if they really wanted to book Taker versus Undertaker, Taker versus Undertaker. That was awful. Taker versus Cena, then they should have booked that years ago. Matter of fact, they could have booked that at WrestleMania 23, the same WrestleMania Taker won against Batista. Not to say that match wasn't a bad match, but if they really wanted to book it, they could have done that a long time ago. The fact that neither one of them are in their primes anymore at this point in their careers, Taker is done. I don't see any reason why he needs to come back. Cena is not the same Cena that we've seen in the past. Yes, he's put a lot of new moves in his arsenal, but the man is about to be 41 this year because he's 40 already. He's going to be 41 in April. And it's like, you could really start to see the aging in Cena in his matches the more and more he has it. Because a lot of times they always try to say Cena's never lost a step. Well, he has. I've been watching it in his matches as time is progressing. You can see that his age is really slowly starting to show within his matches, you know. And him and AJ Styles are the same age, but you can really start to see it starting to show in his matches. And like I said, so I just, at this point, I don't see any reason why this needs to happen. I don't see why people are so happy about it. I don't see what the hype is about. If anything, I would have been hyped when Taker was actually in good shape for this match to have taken place. I would have been hyped when both of them was in their primes. But it was like at this point when Taker is like, in somewhere in his 50s right now, and Cena's like 40, going on 41. I just don't see the reason of the hype for this at this point. Because what can you really do? And you can't expect this to be a 5-star match. I could just put that out. You could just throw it out the window right now. If everybody is all pulling for Taker to come back and have this one more match with Cena, you can't expect this to be a 5-star match. I would just put that out there right now. Because first of all, Taker's match with Roman wasn't even a 5-star match. And even before that, really, the only and the only matches Taker's had at WrestleMania that have been like really good matches, and this is like, and I'm not going to count all his WrestleMania matches. I'm just going to count from within the last maybe 5 to 10 years. Was his matches with Triple H, his matches with Shawn Michaels. His match with CM Punk was actually good too to me. I think that was probably his last good match at WrestleMania, because after that, the one with Brock Lesnar was very slow paced, and then he caught a concussion, and his streak ended that night. So I mean, that just wasn't a good win. The one with Bray Wyatt definitely wasn't a good match. So and then the one he had with Shane, the only thing that everybody's going to remember is the fact that Shane fell off the cell. I mean, that's the only thing everybody's going to remember about that match, to be quite honest. But as far as the actual match, same way, it's very slow paced. So really, it's been a minute since the Undertaker has really had some legit good matches at WrestleMania. So first of all, you're not going to expect to have a 5-star match. It's probably going to be just as slow paced as his match with Roman Reigns last year. Because here's the thing, and even I've seen it with Cena lately. Cena a lot now uses his finisher more in his matches. He uses his finisher more in matches. Like, he still tries to have those different moves in his move set, but at the same time, it's like the same thing all the time. You're going to see him do his signature moves, the shoulder to shoulder, the 5-knuckle choke, and stuff like that. You'll see him try to go for the attitude adjustment, or you'll try to see him going for the STF. That's like the main things he's doing at this point. He's really not adding as much stuff in his moves anymore. And the fact that not only that, but knowing that he's working with Taker, by them making this a huge possibility happening, is definitely not going to be like he's going to be using a bunch of moves on Taker, just because of Taker's condition, and just because of Taker being much older, and just because of all those reasons. You're really not going to expect to see him. You're really not going to expect to see Taker. You're not going to expect to see Taker go all out, and you're really not going to expect to see Cena go all out. So I just don't see what the hype about this is. I don't understand why everybody really wants this to happen. I just don't understand it. It's just kind of ridiculous to me, because like, this should have happened. If they wanted this to happen, if they really wanted this to happen, this should have happened a long time ago. I heard there was one channel that I watched. He was like, they could have done this at WrestleMania 30, and I mean, they could have done this at WrestleMania 30. But I remember there were rumors that around that time he was actually supposed to face Sting, but then that didn't happen because Sting wasn't in the company yet. And I don't know. It's just a lot of things with Sting, but there was some rumors that he was going to face Sting on WrestleMania. There's like rumors he's going to face several different people at WrestleMania. Because even Roman Reigns was actually a rumor back then to face Taker at WrestleMania. I think it would have made more sense if he had faced Roman, I want to say in the year 2014. Not to say that I would have wanted to see that, but only because if Roman, I mean, honestly, I knew Brock. I kind of figured Brock would be the guy to break the streak, because of the fact that you look at the history between Taker and Brock. Brock has basically beat Taker every single time on pay-per-view, and Taker has only beaten Brock for so little. Like, Brock is basically beating almost all the time, so I kind of knew something was up with that. But Oh man, like as you I talk about this, like Cena calling out Taker last night for a match at WrestleMania 34. I'm just like, yo, I don't understand why everybody's so happy about this. What is so good about Taker facing Cena now? You know, they were going to face each other. That should have happened a long time ago. There's no reason why it should happen now. There's no reason why it should happen at this point of their careers. I think Taker could have easily left last year, had been done with wrestling no matter what no fans say. Because another thing too is they also let the fans to pick their careers, and it's like once you say you're done, you're done. That's why I brought up Austin early because I'm like Austin, when he said he was done, when he retired, he was done. Austin's not been back in that ring since because Austin knows that if Austin ever got back in that ring, he could be paralyzed because ever since he injured his neck. He broke his neck uh, back in '97 when Owen Hart did that botched power driver. He never really recovered from it, and he also suffered from other injuries as well. So the doctors told him that that was it. That was his last ride. So you haven't seen him step back in the ring. And look at Edge. Edge is the same way. Edge broke his neck like twice, I believe. He's had other injuries too. But for his neck, though, I think he broke that particular part twice. Uh, and when he did it the second time, the doctors basically told him, if you keep wrestling, then you could be paralyzed. And he had to retire. And Edge has not stepped back foot in that ring since. It's like, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And the bottom line is looking at Cena call out Undertaker on Raw. It was so predictable. It's just a typical booking that they try to do nowadays in WWE. I was disgusted because I'm like, yo, like I don't want to see this right now. I don't want to see Taker going against Cena because let me tell you, if I see Taker come back on Monday Night Raw to face Cena, best to believe you'll probably see me making another video talking about how I've lost respect for Taker. I already said, like, if Taker really takes this offer, and if Taker really comes back to wrestle John Cena after he just lost Roman last year, and after, because here's the thing, it would make no sense at this point for Cena to face Taker. It would be really dumb because here's the stupid thing for me. If Cena faced Taker, but they book Cena to win, what does that mean for Taker? What does that mean for Taker? That all that's going to show is that this is the third person that'll beat Taker at WrestleMania, and it's like, and I was watching one of my other wrestling YouTubers channel. One of the things he said I agree with. He was like, if they were going to face each other, they could have done that when Taker's streak was actually on the line. Not now when Taker's already been beaten 2 times. Because what does it really mean if John Cena beats him? For real, it didn't even mean anything when Roman beat him. It's just like, if you beat Taker, if you weren't the first one to beat him, then it doesn't mean anything if you beat him. It means nothing. Because he built his legacy off of being undefeated at WrestleMania. That was one of the biggest things he built his career off of, besides other, there's a lot of things Undertaker built his career off of, a lot of things. He's the longest reigning person in the company, longer than any other wrestler. He stayed in the company for this long, and you got to give him credit for it. He's been in the company longer than anybody else, but it's like, there's a lot of things that this man has achieved in WWE, a lot of different things he's done. But it's like WrestleMania was like one of the things Taker was known for being undefeated in. And with Brock Lesnar beat him, it was a shock to everybody at WrestleMania 30. But I would say that at the time, it was a good move because of the fact that it was such a shock. WrestleMania 30 actually, looking back on it, was probably one of the better WrestleManias as far as the last couple of WrestleManias been going on since then. For the last 3 years, like these last three WrestleManias have had some good matches on the card, but as far as the overall show, it just always has been like something that just kills it. But that WrestleMania, just a lot of good moments that happened at WrestleMania 30. A lot of really good moments, and his streak being over was one of them because no one saw it coming at the time. But it's like since then, what's the purpose now of having Cena face Taker when his streak is not on the line? Like what is this really for? What is the purpose of this? And like I said, why is Taker, a man who just had freaking hip surgery, why is he trying to risk himself coming back into the ring when he could possibly injure himself again? Because let me say this, like I already said, if Taker, um, if Taker comes back to face Cena and actually accepts this challenge, the only thing that's gonna happen is Taker is just they're probably gonna book him to lose again or something, or he's just gonna basically be moving slow during the whole match. Like he's just really gonna be moving very slow during the whole match. The match is gonna lag. It's gonna be very slow. You know, I just don't see how you could want that. It's like so many people that want Taker, and that's the thing I don't like about fans like that. It's like you're selfish because you don't care about the wrestler's health and their well-being. You care about what you want to see that wrestler doing. You care about the fact that you want to see that wrestler keep going. But at some point, your body is just going to shut down on you. At some point, your body is going, you could be wanting to do it, but your body's going to tell you, like, nah, you need to sit down. And that's what happened with Taker. Taker, and this got nothing to do with Roman Reigns. Taker has taken so many bumps over the years. He's taken so many injuries. He's had so many injuries over the years. He's been through a lot over the years. And it's like, at this point, Taker has no reason to be coming back into that ring. He's accomplished everything there is to really accomplish. He won the Royal Rumble in 2007. He's won the WWE title, well, a WWF title, and he's won the World Heavyweight title more than once. He has accomplished a lot in his illustrious career, but it's like it's time to hang it up. I don't understand at this point in his life why he needs to have one more match. To me, it just makes everything he did last year a slap to the face, because it's like, if you had one more match, what was the purpose of leaving all that stuff on the mat like that? If you were gonna have one match, you had people crying in the arena, in the stadium, because they was upset that Taker was done. But it's like, what the hell are you crying for? Yes, you can love Taker, but you gotta understand that at some point he had to let it go. He had to be done. But no, y'all want to keep pressing. Y'all want to keep pushing the buttons. Y'all want to keep saying, we want to see Taker versus Cena, Taker versus Cena, Taker versus Cena. It's like, why? After you just seen how he performed last year, you still want to see Taker versus Cena? After you just seen how Taker wrestled last year? Because even if he's getting back in shape right now, doesn't mean that his match with Cena is going to be any better than it was with Roman. It's going to be about the same amount. I'm telling you this right now. For anybody that think that match is going to be like a 5-star match or something like that, it's going to be a really good match, no, it's not. It's going to be the same exact way. Unless Taker somehow is in so much incredible shape that he just wants to keep going more and more. But it's like, no. Taker needs to be done. He has no reason to be in that ring at this point in his career. He's achieved everything, and he's beaten everyone. Like, I don't get why Taker needs to come back, why they want him to come back to face Cena at this point. Because here's the question: what happens when Taker really is gone? Because at this point, I just don't know. Taker's just playing games. But what happens when he really is gone? And then, what happens when he really is gone? And then, Cena doesn't have a WrestleMania opponent. Because right now, they're really teasing this Taker versus Cena thing. And I'm going to say that there's about a 95% chance it's going to happen, because the fact that how much they keep teasing it, how much he keeps calling him out at this point, you could definitely say it's going to happen. So what happens next year if Taker really isn't wrestling and Cena doesn't have a WrestleMania opponent? Then what does that mean? Then who are you going to get for Cena? Because you can't keep just throwing people at Cena. For real, the match I wanted to see Cena have, but unfortunately it didn't happen, was Samoa Joe versus Cena. And I honestly think that if Samoa Joe didn't get hurt, because they were going to lead to Cena facing Samoa Joe, but I think that if he didn't get hurt, they could have actually booked him to face Samoa Joe at WrestleMania. Because how it could have been booked was this: Cena eliminates Samoa Joe from the Royal Rumble, and you know Samoa Joe doesn't take it lightly. And Samoa Joe is my man, so of course I'm going to want that man. I would have wanted that man to have a huge match because he would actually went over. Could actually went over and beat Cena clean. So essentially, from there, they could start this big storyline between Samoa Joe and Cena that would lead up to their match at WrestleMania. Because they could even continue their feud at the Elimination Chamber, just not one on one. And then it would have led to WrestleMania, where Samoa Joe could have faced Cena. That's what would have been like a money making match at WrestleMania as of this year, not Cena versus Taker. That to me is just ridiculous. It's played out. I don't want to see it. I don't understand why everybody's so high on it. So, like I said, if Cena, if Taker really comes back just to face Cena, then I'm just gonna be done. All my respect is gonna be gone for Taker, and you're probably gonna hear me doing another video similar to this one where I talk about why I no longer have respect for Undertaker, because I would just lose every source of respect for Taker if this man decides to come back, because then that to me personally means that he's putting his own health on the line. He's putting his own, you know, problems that he has currently on the line. So if something happens to Taker, and I'm not trying to sound wrong, I'm not trying to sound mean, but I really won't care. If something like happens to Taker, you know, when he falls out or something in the ring, that's going to be his fault because he chose to come back to WWE even though he had no reason to come back. That doesn't be Taker's fault. So that's my issue with Taker. Like, Cena calling him out, I just knew something was up, and that's exactly what happened. So, you know, Taker, he's just stupid, but so, you know. So, you know, that's what I say about that military guys, but yeah. I'm just very disgusted. I had to make a video about this Cena calling out Taker because I just found it interesting because I just don't understand at this point why that even needs to happen, why people pulling for that happen. Just shows you how selfish they are, how much they don't care about wrestlers' health and well-being. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right now. End this video here. I'm going in this video right here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sign over at Massive Flex. You know, if you haven't watched, you know, please make sure you watch this video. This is only my second WWE video this year for real. Like I told you, I really gotta get back in the ball game doing WWE type videos. I was doing a lot of LH wrestling videos, but that time of the season has ended, so it just gives me more time to do WWE type videos. So I really hope that you guys, you know, like this video, enjoy this video, whatever, and like, comment, subscribe, and you know, stay for the next one because you always remember respect the channel. Stay tuned for the next one. I'll talk to you guys. Whatever, peace.